Hello, Ricky. It's Rowan from Silver Tiger Media. How are you?
I'm doing good, buddy. How are you?
Very well indeed, thank you. It's a tremendous honour to speak with you, and thank you very much for your time today.
Oh, no, awesome. Thank you.
So look, congratulations on the Killer Instinct. It's a thoroughly tremendous work.
I'm glad you like it. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's brilliant. The sound of the band and your personal performance is genuinely chilling, I find. That classic sound, but you still manage to entwine the classic Celtic sound into the tracks. It's very, very beautifully done.
Thank you. Thank you.
How on earth do you keep coming up with such brilliant music?
I guess because I don't think I've got it right, you know. I think you're always chasing that ultimate song, and you're trying to, better what you did before, and push yourself harder. I mean, I think that's the only reason I can think why you keep doing it. The thrill of that, and the lifestyle and the vacation that affords you to travel around playing those songs to people and seeing their reaction to your music, and everything that comes with that. I mean, I think the day you tire of the people clapping their hands and cheering is the day that it's over, I think that's what drives us forward to want to do it, want to write better songs,
Absolutely. Has there been a recent song you can think of that really satisfies you with the crowd reaction, something that really gets them going?
Black Star Riders, it's great to see from the first album. We haven't really gone out and played. We're about to play the new album live for the first time in a couple of weeks. Yes. But, something like Kingdom of the Lost from the first album always goes down very well. Bound for Glory from the first album too is always great. But, and then obviously you throw in the Lizzie stuff, which is just timeless, Jailbreak, Boys Are Back in Town. We play those, the place just goes nuts.
Of course, yeah. Look, I hope you'll forgive me if this seems a stupid question, but it occurs to me that the name Black Star Riders could be a reference to the Black Rose. Am I even close?
You're not, I'll be honest with you, to name the band, obviously from where we came from, we all decided it would be too cheesy and too easy, to coin a phrase, to pick a Thin Lizzy song and just call the band like that, because we were pretty adamant that everybody knew where we came from. We've obviously got the spirit of Thin Lizzy and Black Star Riders, but we wanted to make sure this was a standalone band, and we didn't really want to name that any connotations with Thin Lizzy at all. Out of respect to Thin Lizzy and out of respect to the fact that we wanted the band to be have its own identity. So there was no thought behind. There was definitely no, we need to get something that's got a Lizzy connotation or something with a little bit of a, people say to me, you called the first album All Hell Breaks Loose. That's a line in Jailbreak. I mean, that's purely coincidental. There's no way I went in and went, I've got to cherry pick that line and that's what the album's going to be called. It's just a pure coincidence,
Indeed, yeah. And look, this is my first opportunity to speak with you, so I hope that you will forgive me for my question.
Not at all. No, these are all great. It's all relevant and good questions,
Indeed. I mean this with the utmost respect. Only those involved know how difficult Phil's death was and the aftermath, so I don't believe any of the second-hand accounts I read. I believe Black Star Riders genuinely honour the legend of Thin Lizzy and Phil's memory. Would that be a correct presumption?
Absolutely. I'm in a band with Scott Gorham, who was Phil's best friend, who was his best man at his wedding, had been through all the highs and lows of Lizzy with Phil, and there's nobody, knows Phil better than Scott Gorham does. And we're all, myself and Damon Johnson, we grew up in Thin Lizzy, we're massive Thin Lizzy fans, so it's done with the utmost respect and honour to Phil, and he's talked about, he's revered. We feel that he's still with us in spirit, and he's been a huge influence on me, alive and dead. I mean, I've been living and breathing his work every day for the last 5 years, doing the Thin Lizzy thing, and feel like it's almost bizarre, but I feel like I've got to know the man. I feel like I wanted to. So it's just a huge honour, and it was a heart ruling our heads. We thought, we've been playing, the band had been very successful. We thought, well, let's do a new Thin Lizzy album. And we wrote the songs. We were very happy with how the songs turned out. But I think as the 11th hour drew near to record, suddenly it was like, well, hanging out. It's been 30 years. It'll be the first Lizzie album without the great man Phil.
Yeah.
That's not right. Keeping the songs alive and playing them alive to the old fans and the new generation that have never heard them before is one thing, but to actually record under that moniker, I think we all felt it was just time to let the legacy be the legacy and respect the history, and to change the name. And once that was suggested, everybody was like, "Yep, no, that's what I was thinking." There was no, "Oh, I'm not sure about that." It was like, "Yep, this is the right thing to do." And now, sort of 2.5 years later, it was absolutely the right thing to do, and there's no regrets, no regrets at all.
Indeed, and even though the music and particularly the lyrics is such a brilliant reminder of Phil, it's still almost its own genre, set apart just from Thin Lizzy. But you've created such a magnificent sound. I can't fit it into a genre myself. I think it stands alone.
Well, thank you. That's a big compliment, and hopefully that'll work in our favour. I think we've managed to sort of put one foot either side of the line. Where we have got, obviously, Scott being in the band, you're always going to have that. Scott Gorham, that's how he plays. You have that Thin Lizzy guitar sound. I think we always have that spirit with us, but I think we're very standalone in forging ahead with our own identity as Black Star Riders as well. I think at the moment we're able to balance the two quite well, and I hope that continues, because we never want to lose that Thin Lizzy spirit, but obviously we want to forge ahead with our own identity too.
Indeed. Look, as I listen to you, you can't help but reflect back at public accounts of your history, and thankfully the solo tour of 22 rejuvenated your love for music. Otherwise we wouldn't be talking about this at all.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Look, is there any chance of an Australian tour? We're all chafing at the bit to see you live. I know it's only
we'd love to. We were down there a couple of years ago with Thin Lizzy on the Motley Crue Kiss thing, and that was phenomenal. We would love to come there with Black Star Riders. I mean, I know we're talking to a few promoters and hopefully sort the logistics out of it. And I would love to make that happen. I really
wonderful.
would. I know the guys would as well.
Terrific. I can assure you'd be keenly awaited here. Just very by the way, how are Glentoran going?
Thank you for asking. You know what? We're not doing too bad. We have no money. We have a very young team, but a very talented young team that are playing for each other and playing for the shirt. And we've had a great run of results in the last 6 weeks. We're still in the Cup. We're in the quarterfinals of the Cup. And we're up to 4th in the league, so we're 1 point off 3rd place. So,
fantastic.
We get a top 4 finish, we guarantee us some European football next year, and obviously the cash windfall that comes with that helps, stabilise the club. But, something that's very dear to my heart, and, it's a very old club. It's almost 130 years old.
Goodness
me. And, we're still alive and well. The Germans tried to destroy the ground in 41 with the Blitz of Belfast to complete, and we rebuilt the ground and carried on. So there's a lot of history there. The ground's right beside the shipyard where the Titanic was built, and most of the team up until sort of the 50s was shipyard workers. That's where the players came from, So it's a great history of East Belfast there, and it's something I'm fiercely proud of. But thanks for asking. We're doing okay.
Oh, fantastic. And look, it was a real boost, obviously. The fundraiser you did was a fantastic thing to do for the club.
Oh, thank you. I've had so much joy to the club since I was a boy that any chance to, give something back is a no-brainer, and they're good people, and it's a good cause, because it fills right down to the kids. If we can get boots and strips for the youngsters that are going to be the next first team players or beyond, then that's great.
Absolutely. I was speaking to a countryman of yours recently who suggested to me that the name was actually Glentoran Nil, and I gave him a good slap for you.
Who was that?
Just a fellow I work with in the wind industry.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's probably a Linfield supporter.
Probably.
Yeah.
You're an incredibly talented musician with just such a plethora of accomplishments. Can I ask what initially brought you to music?
I think just growing up in Ireland and music being such a huge part of the culture, there's never a day goes by where there isn't some kind of music going on in the house, at the end of the street, in a pub, in a club. My dad coming in singing with his buddies around the table. You're just always immersed in it, and I just gravitated towards the radio. I'd listen to the BBC, Radio 1, Radio 2 when I was a kid growing up. And then, punk rock came along when I was about 11 or 12 and changed my world. I went to see Stiff Little Fingers play in Belfast when I was about 13, and that was it. That's fantastic. I saw that show and wanted to be those guys on stage, and it changed my life forever.
Isn't it terrific? Soldiers Town really represents that history beautifully in Ireland. It's a fantastic track. Do you have a favourite track to perform live?
I don't. It's hard to pick one because some are challenging, some are easy to play, but they're great. And that's the beauty of the thing is that it'll change. Sometimes on a nightly basis, you'll get a kick out of playing one song one night, and then the next song next night will be a different song. I don't really. There's not a song that I'll be honest with you, I have a hard time guitar and play and go, oh, not that song again. I've played it a million times, but if the crowd are getting a vibe out of it, that's what it's all about. And obviously for them, it could be the first time they're hearing it too. So
Absolutely. And a very similar question: do you recall a favourite show of your career that stands out?
Again, too many. I'm so blessed. Too many to mention. Obviously, there's been so many. Being a part of Thin Lizzy have been huge. I mean, solo-wise, opening up for Def Leppard and some of the big shows in America was just mind-blowing. Playing with Cheap Trick, back to my old band, The Almighty, playing Donington. Playing with Metallica. I've been very blessed. We toured with the Ramones, which was a huge highlight for me. I've been very, very blessed over the sort of last 27 years to have played and toured with some phenomenal artists and musicians.
Yeah, most certainly. It might be fun to see you over here with a tour with maybe Alice Cooper.
No, that would be a good thing. That would be a very good thing.
Indeed. There's so much I want to ask you, particularly historically. Just time flies, unfortunately.
No problem, we still got a bit of time.
We can't wait to see you in Australia, really. We're really chafing at the bit. The album, I realise it's released on the 20th, but it's just a phenomenal work. It's terrific.
Oh, well, thank you. No, I mean, we can't wait to get it out there. We finished it in September, so we've been sitting on it for the last 5 months. So we're jonesing just to get people to hear it. And the single's already been out in Europe and the UK, and it's done very well for us. So we're excited.
I was going to ask you whether the early release of the single had gone well for you, but I mean, the numbers on the internet.
We've been A-listed over at the BBC Radio 2 over in the UK, which is massive. It's the biggest radio station, I'm sure you know. And to be A-listed and get be on the daytime radio. When I have my 84-year-old mother calling me up, going, "You boys are never off the bloody radio." That's great. So it's been. It's been very well received.
Oh, that's fantastic. Brilliant. Well, it's an absolute honour to speak with you. I'm trying not to be a big fanboy here, but I'm not sure I can contain myself.
That's all good.
Look, thank you very much for your time today, and we eagerly await your return to Australia, and sincere congratulations on the new album. It's a thoroughly fantastic work. Thank you so much,
and we appreciate all the support, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Indeed. Pleasure indeed. Thank you very much for your time.
Good man. Thank you. Cheers.
Travel safe, my friend. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.